You want my full name, my birth name, or my preferred name? Because my birth name is different than my preferred name. My birth name is Kelly Shaughnessy, and now I have not legally changed my name yet, but the name that I go by is Rylan, R-Y-L-A-N. The majority of my childhood, I had 3 brothers and my dad. When I first told my biological dad that, like, I think something's different, you know, he was like, oh, you grew up with, like, 4 boys in a house, like, that's it, you know, because, like, with my dad, like, I always was, like, dressed in, like, tomboyish clothes, you know, so everyone thought, like, I was a tomboy growing up. But then when I was adopted by my godparents, I, like, talked to them more about it, and I figured out what transgender was, because I didn't know what it was when you were a kid. My freshman year of high school, I remember sitting down with my Aunt Patty. She wasn't my blood aunt, but was a very close family friend, and I said, Aunt Patty, I think I'm trans, and she goes, took you long enough? And I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, I've known that for years. So I came out officially as trans to, not the world, but to, like, my best friend group, which they're actually right there. That picture in the middle was all my best friends from high school. We still talk every day. But I told them the summer in between my freshman and sophomore year of high school, and they're like, all right, dope, so, like, what are we doing? How do we get this show on the road? I lost a lot of family members. There's a lot of family members who don't talk to me anymore. I lost a lot of friends who just, you know, don't agree with it. I was kicked out of my church, which that really sucked. So, like, you know, I've had to go through all these obstacles throughout this whole process, but, like, honestly, it was worth it in the end, you know, because, like, I'm who I am today and I'm happy. I actually chose UGA because of its LGBT community. So my entire family, 2 out of 3 of my brothers, my dad, my uncle, everybody went to Alabama. Alabama was, like, the school, so I was, like, set, like, Alabama's where I'm gonna go. I got a good scholarship at UGA, but then I looked and, like, they have an LGBT resource center, which is the 2nd floor Memorial Hall, and they have Lambda Alliance, which is, like, the LGBT club on campus, you know, and so I was like, that's what switched me over from Alabama to Georgia, is Georgia's LGBT community. It's not, like, as big as I hoped it would be, but UGA has taken a lot of strides. Like, they've in the past, like, few years have opened up more gender neutral bathrooms. Once I got to UGA, literally the 2nd week of, like, classes in August of my freshman year, I went to the health center. I was like, let's start this. I started testosterone August 26th of, 2016. So I've been on testosterone for a little over 2 years now. What I do is I take injections. So you can take, whether you're transitioning from male to female or female to male, you take either estrogen or testosterone injections. I give them to myself every Friday intramuscularly. So it's 100 milliliter injection every week is normally how people do it, or 200 milliliter injection every other week. Along with that, there's corrective surgeries. So top surgery is breast augmentation and chest reconstruction surgery. I had that December of 2016. And there's bottom surgery. Those are kind of like the terms we call as top and bottom. Insurance does not cover hormones or any type of gender corrective surgery. So I pay roughly $1,500 a month for testosterone, and I have to pay that for the rest of my life because I have to keep taking testosterone. So I pay $1,500 a month times 12 times how many years I live. So that's a huge chunk out of my pocket. And then for my surgery, I paid $7,000 out of pocket for my surgery. And then if I had a full hysterectomy, who even knows how much that's gonna be? Like, that's gonna be ridiculous. You know, so, like, being trans is a blessing, but it's also a huge financial burden. In the state of Georgia, it's a hassle because you have to basically, in, like, simple terms, go in front of a judge and prove why you should change your name. But that judge has the authority to say no. After getting that approved, I would have to, you know, change my social security, get a new birth certificate printed, change all my debit cards, all my insurance cards, you know, because everything says Kelly on it. And then I'd have to go through UGA and change my name in that system. So it's like you literally have to replace everything in your entire life. In the state of Georgia, you cannot legally change your gender unless you've had bottom surgery. So regardless if you had top surgery in Georgia, they don't care. But you have to, makes no sense because they're saying you have to prove that you've had bottom surgery, which is like, what do you want me to do, pull my pants down in front of a judge? Like, it's very stupid and it's frustrating. So I can change my name, but won't anytime soon change my gender on my license, which really sucks because it still says female everywhere. A lot of the classes that I'm in now, because I'm in a lot of major specific classes, I have like 20 people in my class, so I'm able to like tell my professor, hey, like I go by this name. But you know, when you're in like giant lecture halls, I'm obviously not gonna like take the time to go tell them. So like after I write Kelly on all my tests, you know, like it's very annoying, because then whenever you like buy something online, you have to put in your credit card information. So I'm putting in Kelly all the time, and it's just very annoying. I wish I could change it. I mean, I wanted to. My dad and I were talking about it a lot, and he wants me to wait till after college. However, I really want to do it before I graduate college, because I want my diploma to say Rylan. Whether you get married or, like in my case, change your first name, UGA will reprint you a diploma. However, like I kind of want the real one. You know what I'm saying? Like the real first one. Trans people appreciate it if you ask them what their pronouns are. If you start off a conversation and say, hey, what are your preferred pronouns? That's as simple as it is. Like people, I won't get offended if you ask me that. I'll be happy if you ask me that. So it's a lot better to ask rather than to just misuse pronouns. Because it hurts when you misuse pronouns. It's like you're invalidating my gender identity. I wish people knew that we're not like scary. We're like everybody else. Just because we're different, a lot of people look down upon us, but they shouldn't. We're just people who identify as a gender other than them we were assigned at birth. It's very simple. How I would describe it is like being born in the wrong body. But that's not a bad thing. Like that's not a negative thing, because we have the medical advancements in order to change that. So I just wish people were more educated on what the word transgender even means and what our community is all about. Because we're not scary and we're not mean. We're just humans like everyone else.